good-sized defense here for this city. And now we await the storm, right? As we continue on in this epic siege series, we're just roaming the map, taking cities that look like they're going to be interesting to siege, and then hoping for an enemy response. And we're usually not disappointed. In fact, again, that took about 5 seconds. More than likely, both of these forces, these are both Southern Empire forces. More than likely, they were coming to this location already because we were sieging their city. Now they're very angry and they want their city back. But there's a head tax for it, right? We're going to take their head if they try to take it back. We have a pretty good army, but I noticed we have quite a few kind of scrubbier troops at the bottom here. I'm kind of putting this army together as I roam around. I don't really have a home base for this series. The last couple 3 sieges are basically completely contrived, right? They're not part of the campaign. I just have this group of about 500 troops. It's mostly elite troops, and we have some high-level companions, of course. But we're essentially just living off the land here. It's like we're couch surfing Calradia style, right? We're just looking for sieges, looking for interesting castles, and this city has a really interesting city defense layout. So these Southern Empire forces are willing to comply with our desire to kill the enemy here. They're lining up 3,000 stupid fucks. Well, more than 3,000 stupid fucks for another siege here, and this indeed looks like it's going to be an epic siege. People wondering how come so many enemies attack me? Well, we have like 1 or 2 cities and 1 or 2 castles at this time in the map, and we're at war with everybody, right? So all of the enemies basically follow you around like you're a lottery winner, and they're all expecting their $1 million gift, a bunch of fucking deadbeats. Pick your analogy, right? It's like we're just being swarmed. And it didn't take long. Oh shit, look at this. There's more forces coming behind this. So that looks like Northern Empire. I think that's it's the pinkish color. That's Northern Empire. But first in line for this siege defense here is the Southern Empire. So this may be another one of our multiple sieges, right, where we get sieged, and before we can even catch our breath barely, it looks like we may get sieged by another force, another very large force. Yeah, so look at this side over here. This is a pretty well designed castle, but especially this left wing. These little ramparts or buildings or whatever you want to call them, they're accessible via stairs, right? There's different things you can do, and I plan on stretching guys out. It's really hard to do curves. In fact, you can't really do it. But I have a manner and a method of stretching guys out across that curve there. Meanwhile, of course, we're going to guard the gate. I'm going to take a look at my infantry divisions. For some reason or other, I have nobody in the 3rd. And I'm going to configure these guys a little bit differently than I have in the past. A little bit more strategy here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to design the 1st to be the square. They're going to be the defensive troops. The 2nd to be an attacking skirmisher group. And then the 3rd infantry division, these guys are going to be shock troops. So here's how I'll configure it. The 1st is spear and shield. The 3rd is just high tier. And then the 2nd is spear and javelins. That way those guys are throwing javelins. So the 1st holds a square in the center. These shock troops will be brought in to attack distracted enemies attacking our square. And of course the 2nd division, they're throwing javelins. I see wildlings in there and whatnot. Those guys can also be told to engage in melee. I think maybe it's not a perfect setup for the gate, but it's pretty savage. So the enemy, I don't know where their ladders come up over here, somewhere over here on the left. We're going to set up a courtyard defense over there. So 1st infantry there, and again, the 2 wings of infantry, the 2nd on the right, and then the 3rd on the left here. These guys are ready to charge shock troops whenever I want. Now I have 2 other units that I can play with here. I'm going to set up archers probably on the side, but I have this. I don't want the 7th. I want the 7th. Let's see. Hold on. There's not a lot of room here near the gate to shoot the enemy with ranged units. I can put the 7th archers right here, and they'll kind of have double duty, but it's not going to be the best line of sight, right? These buildings are too crowded here. If I was the czar or sultan of this city, I would say demolish these buildings, and we can have a better siege defense here. But what I can do is I can take the 8th Corps down here. These are some of my best units with a mix of archers in there. And then I think up here we'll try the skirmishers. This 6th corps, these are almost all javelin throwing motherfuckers. You can see there's literally 15 companions in this 6th corps. I'd like to have them so they're around the corner there. Perfect. Now they have multiple angles both to defend each other but also to throw javelins down here into the courtyard. That is going to be a savage configuration. And I got my horse here. Early on in a complicated siege like this, what you'll see me do is you'll see me ride around for 30 seconds. Now, I used to just dump my horse immediately. Now I like to ride around a little bit and sort of take a look at what I've got going on. I got to get these archers stretched out. Remember I was telling you I was going to try to manually stretch out this 5th Archer Division. Because the game doesn't do curves very well, I've got a little idea here. What you can do is you can effectively get around the fact that it doesn't align units very well on curves. I've just got them following me. I'm going to tell them to come this direction, and they're going to be in spread formation. And then whenever they're sort of in the right place, I'll just tell them to stop. Right? You have the stop command, which is F1, F6. Shit, that was almost a curve. I'm just going to get these guys spread out. And the idea here, of course, is that they're further protection for both that archer wing below us there, and then, of course, the 8th Corps down in the valley. Look at this. This is exactly how castles are designed to be defended. Now, these couple of guys here in the gatehouse aren't perfectly set up. I can kind of shove them around here. But now, that upper arch there is defending these 2 lower areas. So it's concentric walls of defense. The 8th is in the valley. The 4th archers are on that lower tier, and the 5th archers are above them. Very difficult for the enemy to deal with that, right? Even if they get to the 8th Corps through a barrage of arrows, they're going to be still getting shot at while they're attacking that division by the other 2 archer divisions. And they'll try. The enemy's still going to try, and it's not invulnerable. If there's a huge press of infantry and shield wall, they'll fight through a lot of archers, all right. But that's going to be a nasty configuration. And what that allows me to do, I've talked about this before, is that autonomous defense over there. And what I mean is, of course, like a autonomous vehicle, it does it on its own. Now that those guys are kind of set there, those guys are mostly archers, I don't have to do much over there. I can focus on the gate. This is a huge city and a huge castle, or a huge defensive situation. Where's the catapults? I'm not familiar with this city. I did walk around it a little bit, but I've never defended this before. Like I said, I'm exploring the map in this Epic Siege series, and I have the luxury of having extremely large, mature, angry kingdoms that almost immediately are attacking us. Sometimes they attack us with, 1,200 men, and I just slaughter them. But when it's big enough like this, and I think it sort of meets the standards for our channel and what I would consider an epic siege, then, especially if it's an interesting battle, then we will upload them to YouTube and share them with you fine fellas. Obviously, we're trying to... Shit, this wall is fucking broken here. Obviously, we're trying to demonstrate some tactics in Castle Siege. What is this fucking guy? This guy's stuck. These guys are bugged or something. Get the fuck out of the way. Well, shit or get off the pot. He's like shooting, but he won't let me get control. I have half a mind to throw a javelin into his neck. All I can do is have the secondary position here. Yeah, I'm not on the control side. He's like loading his own catapult. Get over there. Well, I can't afford to sit here for fucking 20 seconds while Tweedledum here and the terrible line of sight here. I wish he was destroying that siege tower over there, but I'm just going to have to deal with it. That'll just make the siege harder. We like harder here. That's actually just fine. We'll just consider that, we'll say we didn't have enough siege or whatever, and they're going to be storming at us now from all different directions. It's fucking dipshit. At least we have these fireballs. I can hammer these guys at the gate, this big gate clump here. I got to avoid getting shot. All the walls, for some reason, are broken down. I don't see the enemy having any siege. I don't see... them firing up fucking exploding rounds or anything at us, but for some reason the walls are all broken here. Maybe all their stone builders moved to our kingdom because we're fucking massacring the Aserai in our kingdom. All right, in our campaign. All right, so they are starting to develop a nice little tranche of guys down here. These fucks here, we can blow up. Where's their stack of guys down there? This is a problem, because these guys are attacking before I can throw these bombs. And I have these two dipshits on the catapult, but that's not going to be enough. If the enemy pays us attention here, I'm not going to be able to use these bombs, and I will really want to use these. The enemy has a ton of elite troops down there, and they are starting to magnetize to us. Worse is they're through the main gate, so I'm going to have to kind of defend the gate. Shit. Even worse is the Legionnaires are smashing me. I'm going to have to kind of defend the gate at a distance here until I can get there. Shit, I'm getting fucking stuck on the ramparts here. You can see the archer support, though. The arrows are already starting to whistle up here, and these guys pursuing me are getting shot in the side, right in the ear hole. Any guy that survives is going to catch a javelin. But I've got to keep an eye on the gate. In a battle like this, to me, the gate is always the most important. I will go check out those autonomous sides, so to speak, occasionally, but this is where the real fighting is going to be. You know, your gatehouse, the enemy could pour through 300 guys in like 10 seconds. If you're not looking, all of a sudden the city is lost. Okay, so they're coming from the other side here. That's from the siege tower. So we do have enemies on all three sides. They're pouring through the gate. Our infantry divisions are doing good work. I see a lot of green death spam. Our guys are actually getting carried away, chasing the enemy into the gatehouse. Die, motherfucker. Damn, this guy's fucking tough. Look at the damage he's taking. He's taking hardly any damage, too. That guy must have elite armor. There are some very high-end lords in my campaign. And, of course, by this point, they've acquired very high-level armor. We've got a beautiful setup here for the main gate. Again, this was my priority. I've got the 2nd and 3rd division that are helping. And look at these guys. Just like I wanted, the skirmishers up on that bridge are raking the enemy with javelin fire. Right? So it's javelin fire. It's 2 different elite infantry divisions mauling the enemy here. One of them's a shock troop while we hold that square. And I have that archer division that's kind of in between here, helping both of these situations out. Don't think the enemy is going to be able to push through here until they get considerably more reinforcements. Yeah, you can see them actually. Every time I look up there, they're throwing javelins. These archers over here are holding their own and shooting guys. We've got a beautiful setup so far. What is this, 4,000, 4,200 Southern Empire forces? I don't like their chances right now. It doesn't mean this siege is over, by no means, right? I've had sieges that I thought were over, and the enemy all of a sudden swarms in and overwhelms you. And so what I've learned in sieges like this is to develop a contingency plan. I've talked about it already in the early stages of this siege. The left side of this city is amazing. With that 3 tiers of archers just smoking everything down in that lower bowl. I've got the 8th Corps over there and 2 archer corps spread out that are very difficult for the enemy to get to. If we need to, if the battle starts to look tenuous, we will pull back to there, and we will essentially rally all our troops in that area of the castle. We will put our heavies, right, our heavy infantry and tanks and whatnot, towards the bridges that lead towards the steps that lead to those troops, and then we will basically fight to the death, holding that as our Alamo. And every once in a while, again, you're going to see me sort of check it out. I'll run over here to make sure that the defense system is working. This is like very much like a cow going out to the pasture and making sure his electric fences is just shocking his cows so his cows aren't running off. I'm known for my odd analogies, and we're going to continue those here. Metaphors, analogies, choose your type. I guess my wife would probably say these are metaphors.
Infantry, follow me!
Analogies? I don't know. Anyways, it's one of those. Oh, shit, I see you coming after me, Mavleton. Right out of your range, buddy. Have some arrows in the crotch. He looks like he got 9 arrows in the groin. Yeah, so you see what's going on here. The enemy is pouring up these ladders, and they're pouring right into a deadly situation, right? They are getting mauled, shot to pieces. Arrows are whistling over here. These guys have a better chance of sieging hell than getting up this side in a strong position. They're going to trickle in. Occasionally, they might kill some guys and shield wall and whatnot. These guys are threatening me. But we have a sick defensive system right now on our left side. And I'm going to try to throw few of these bombs here before the enemy sort of arrives at me. I see, look how many guys are down there. I'm getting shot. I'm getting attacked and chased. I got some javelins though, so I'm not too concerned. You know what I can do? I can have the 8th Corps come up here temporarily and buy me some time. They're down in the courtyard, if you remember, right? We're going to use them. Oh shit, I called the wrong unit.
Follow me!
Let's see, 6th.
Troop, follow me!
These guys are the 8th. Get up here.
Soldier after me!
So those guys will now get up here, and what they're going to do is I'm basically going to use them to keep the enemy occupied here while we bomb the shit out of the guys that are at the base of the ladder. They have a massive amount of troops that are just basically trying to get up that ladder, and I need this little bit of time, this 45 seconds here, to fire some bombs down there and really do some major damage. I can't do it when the enemy's rushing at me. Of course, if you get hit with the tiniest little sword, yeah, these guys are actually mauling the enemy too. We can have them fucking charge. Okay, beautifully. I was able to pick up all of the bombs here and rain them down. And, you know, we killed an additional 80, something, 60, 70, 80 guys. And now we'll simply reset this 8th Corps division, right? Back into the courtyard. You guys go back into your beautiful turtle defense. Some of them are kind of engaged here beyond the point of returning. I always sort of feel for my men in a situation like this, right? They came up to help me throw those bombs, and now they're getting killed. I don't like to just leave, right? I'm a firefighter. We don't leave guys behind. So frequently you'll see me kind of recklessly try to help my guys get out of a situation. They're digital pixels, but I feel like, you know, you got to role play a little bit. There's got to be camaraderie. No Jarl, no self-respecting emperor or leader or whatever would just ditch his guys without at least trying to fight. Okay, I did finger fuck this. This is the 6th Corps. I called them by accident. So
Follow me!
I might need them down in the courtyard. I don't see a lot of death spam, but I don't see a lot of our defenders either down there. So let's just put the skirmishers down there and see what the enemy has coming. Yeah, what they have coming is tons of troops. Now they're piling up on that left side. I think that's a function of us having a lot of our troops over there. The AI likes to take the shortest route, so to speak, to the enemy sometimes. But they're not going to be able to get up there, right? We've already seen and talked about how that ladder, those ladders are essentially death traps for the enemy. So half of their forces are essentially killed there for sure, trying to go up those ladders. And we'll deal with those forces at some point. They do sometimes charge and change their route. If they're piled up there on the ladder, and all of a sudden they have a better opportunity, they'll attack it. But in this situation, I don't think they see a better opportunity. I think they probably see their troops getting killed. The AI is like, well, we have a 0% success rate going through the main gate, a 0% going through the siege tower, and right now, oops, I went to the basement here. Right now, oh shit, we do have a breach here. Okay, so I kind of left this 6th Corps. I left these guys hanging a little bit. These guys are getting absolutely mauled here. Well, I don't have any defenses left here. The infantry divisions are gone. I thought the infantry divisions still had some troops, but it looks like the square and all the infantry here is completely dissolved. And that's a function of me not babysitting these guys well enough. I told you earlier I was going to pay most of my attention to the main gate. Obviously, this is a little bit of a failure of that promise, of that plan. Fortunately, the 6th Corps is elite. There's some archers supporting here as well. I've got the 7th Corps, and this is the 8th Corps. I brought them up just in case this really turned into a bad situation. So I've called in the proverbial reinforcement here, and I need it, right? Because here comes enemy waves. They're starting to pour through. Fortunately, these are archers. These guys, again, they have a better chance of fucking becoming emperor of our kingdom than getting through this gate. Nice block, dude. Still ain't gonna help you. Now, skirmishers, we can bring these guys up. I guess at this stage, they're not throwing javelins. We can actually put them in a square. They can be the distractionary square because we obviously don't have any other infantry units. See, the enemy is boring in up on that upper concentric ring, but it's slow. And I bet they're taking a lot of losses to get that far, right? They're getting shot. They're getting attacked by whoever they're attacking, right? Archers that are being attacked. It's funny, but they whip out their little sword and they fight back, right? They have like a little attitude of their own. They don't like dying. They're fulfilling their evolutionary plan as an organism, right? Now these guys, evidently, they would like to become fertilizer. That seems to be their evolutionary plan. They're charging in here. They're not even attacking me, except that fuck. He got off a nasty shot. But most of these guys are just charging in with a sign that says "kill me." get myself a shield here soon. But this has been a savage massacre at the gate, and then of course the right or the left side of the keep is basically impervious. Look at this shit. It's like a giant fucking pack of militia coming in. It's not a good sign that we have militia. You know, that means we've obviously lost enough troops to get reinforcements in the first place. And reinforcements that are militia are usually a really bad sign. It's a sign that you're starting to get not to the bottom of your troops necessarily, but you're getting down there. Now, I may still have another wave of good troops left, but you know, any situation like this, you just kind of have to assume that you're in a bad situation. So I'm going to help out over here very temporarily while that 6th Division, 8th Corps, and that Infantry Division is over there. Again, I'm just kind of cleaning up over here for the guys that are sort of stubbornly getting by these archers. And make sure the troops aren't getting zerged in here. I see them getting attacked. And actually, it looks like they're taking care of their own just fine. There's like 3 or 4 Battanian Fiend champs. I hear Yelen. She's one of my high-level archers. She's in there rampaging with her 2-handed axe. That's her. She's got the same skill as me. She just wields a slower, heavier, damaging axe. It blows up shields in like one shot. I've got the fast axe, and I've just evolved to prefer this just because it's so fast. It's still lethal. It still does plenty of damage, especially with headshots, and the enemy has almost no counter to it. You know, their basic reaction to the axe is to get killed. Oops, shit. I just Michael Jacksoned off that wall. Alright, here's screaming and yelling at the main gate, right? Your audible clues can be important in a game like this. Look, this horse is begging me to ride it in this situation. The enemy is breaching through here, so we're going to roar in here with our horse. Now, this axe is so short, it's actually kind of worthless from a horse, right? You see me just whiffing over and over again. What are these guys? This is not good. There's guys with cloth armor here. So this is the 7th Archers. Alright, I want to get these guys out of here. These guys are way too vulnerable to be fighting at the gate. So let's try to block the gate here, and I'm going to try to fight a path for this archer division to get and join the other archers on the other side there. We can put them in the courtyard. So I'm sort of triangulating their forces around this scrum at the gate, hoping that they lose a minimal amount of troops and trying to beat down the attackers that are getting through before we send them the rest of the way, right? We're basically trying to protect these guys. You can see they're wearing fucking cloth armor. And now we're going to tell them after me, we'll have them follow me, and we're going to shoot him way over there. And I see him being attacked on the way over. We're going to fucking attack these fucks attacking them, right? This is a big shark getting eaten by an even bigger shark. Fuck you guys attacking our archers. And we're going to suffer some losses here, but I think a lot of those archers are going to get over there, and that's going to be just another archer support wing that can really help that side of the city. Our gate defense here is starting to get a little weaker, but for some reason or other, sometimes the enemy pays me absolutely no attention, and I can just get in here and kill 15 or 20 guys myself. They are paying absolutely no attention to the most deadly force on the field, and so we'll take advantage of that. Look at these archers. They look stunned. Wow, you guys, you stall and you lose. I mean, we're just going to kill half their archers before they even drew their weapons. They were like, what's happening? What is going on? It's a blur. Oh, we're all dead. That was how that went. What is this? This is more 7th Corps. And okay, so archer reinforcements just poured in, and they're pouring in like a fucking Amazon conveyor belt. It's kind of chaos. Let's move this square thick into the gate so we can get these archers by. Most of those guys got through. I can see they're being pursued, but we're going to pursue the pursuers here. Get off. All right, so now our archers... Oh shit, the 5th Corps is getting stacked up over there. So I got an idea. We can spread out both of these divisions. The 7th is right here. We'll have those guys follow me. We'll have the 5th Corps follow me. And I'm going to be able to basically spread these guys out over this crescent and have them meet in the middle, so to speak. The 6th. Okay. Never mind. We've got... What do we have? The 7th? And this is the 5th, right? Oh, I thought we had 3 archer divisions for some reason. So this is the 5th, and I got to get these guys spread out. They're being pursued here, so I'm going to help them out. But the 7th does have a good spot. They're in the courtyard now. That'll work just fine. I thought that was the 5th division, or the 4th division. That's the 7th down there. That's going to be just fine, because as the enemy approaches, those guys down there, they're going to be getting shot to pieces. You know, they don't have a defense layer. They're not up on a tier. You know, they don't have stairs protecting them or anything like that. But they have all of these archers here protecting them, right? You can see the crossfire here. You just hear non-stop shooting, right? It's just like an absolute machine gun fire at this stage. All right, so again, I'm kind of spacing out this 5th Archer Division. I'm trying to manage the gate, but the gate, I think, is lost at this stage. There's just a square over there with no archer support, so we will bring that square to us. I talked about this earlier. If the gate starts to look tenuous, we're going to make our defense here. So I'm pulling that square towards me, fighting my way through, guys, to get to it, and then we're going to light the enemy up with these archer cores. Now, get the fuck out of here. Do a little jump swing. The square is, of course, being pursued. Shit. The square is messily being pursued, but now the enemy's going to run into 3 different archer divisions. I got fucking stubborn troops here trying to collect the bounty on the Jarl. Get out of here, these motherfuckers. People ask sometimes, you know, the slow-mo, that's from a dismember mod, and it does give you a little bit of an advantage as a combatant, right? It slows things down. You know, and if you consider that cheese, I guess I would just say live a little. Try not to take life too serious. This is a video game. We're having a good time here. We're intentionally playing on like extraordinarily difficult settings, like beyond normal difficult settings. So take it easy with the comments on that. So here I'm charging with archers just because that press was starting to overwhelm those guys, and it's better for everybody to charge than for your archers to get beat up piecemeal, right? With the guys can't get line of sight and they're getting hacked down one after another. It's better if they all just charge up like this and fight in unison. Incidentally, this is what the military suggests for its civilians for an active shooter. I've been to ridiculous training courses where they suggest, you know, if you're trapped in an office building and you have like an active shooter and there's 15 of you, you all pick up a stapler and fucking charge and throw it at the guy. I don't recommend this. Now, you know, to be fair, they're suggesting you would only do that if you're trapped. But your odds are not good, and human nature, more than likely, you're going to... All right, we all charge, and you're going to get one guy with you, maybe, who's brave and charges, and the other 13 people are going to sit there cowering under their desk while you get shot to pieces. I don't have much faith that the average person is eager to take on an active shooter with his stapler. But that's what they're teaching us, you know, that's their strategy. I guess that's kind of what we did right there. That was the whole point of that analogy, is they started coming in with their infantry and we just charged them with a bunch of peasants with their little sword. Alright, the gate looks clear. It's actually quiet, so I'm going to start to set up another crossfire defense here at the gate. Nothing too elaborate. We're just going to get archer wings on both sides of the opening here. If the enemy again starts pressing in hard, we'll have one division form a square and charge while we have the other one retreat. Right? We want to get back to our place. I'm hoping I get infantry reinforcements. I'm a little surprised I don't have any infantry. I'm looking at my units, and I literally have 9 infantry here. Fortunately, the enemy is not pouring through with a huge mass of troops. I think what's going on is the enemy has like fucking 400 units stacked up on this ladder over here. I think, like I said before, sometimes the AI sort of tries to get its troops heading up in the direction wherever your forces are. And unfortunately, that means even though they should be storming the main gate, probably, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're going to kill them no matter what. Then they have to run the other gauntlet and come through this other side gauntlet. It's all a bad situation for the enemy here, but in this situation, I think if the enemy just keeps trickling on over here, we're going to make a sally attempt. Their troops will be largely packed up, trying to get on the ladder, and I've got those 2 archer divisions there. Just those guys are dying to fucking draw their bow on somebody and shoot them. This is nice and secure over here. Again, they're trickling up that ladder. They're coming up 2, 3 at a time, but with all those archer tranches over there, there's really not a major concern there. So let's see what these guys can do out here. Anytime you sally out of a keep in a situation like this, it's risky. And if I was in a campaign that was a deathmatch campaign, like I had to win this battle, I might not do this. But especially for both instructional purposes and the fun and the tactics of it, I'll show you kind of what I would do here. We're basically going to spread our archers out on different vectors. There's nobody on their siege tower. We're giving these archers essentially the best line of sight possible. I'm holding my shield up because my health is low, and they do have some archers towards the front, but I think I'm actually going to engage these fucks. They're going to start to get shot. It's getting their attention. They're starting to send infantry, and I think it's axe work right here. I've got enough health to get in here. These are tier 3, 2 tier 2 infantry. This fucking guy dutifully holding his shield up, but these guys have no chance. They're getting kicked. They're getting shot. They're getting beheaded. And they're holding a good shield wall here, but it's just not going to save these guys. And they can't attack me either, right? You understand, like, if they drop their shield and pull out their weapon, they're shot in the face, right? These guys really are penned up here. They're in a bad spot. We've got, look at this Lord pouring in here. Oh, shit. Yeah, we kill our proverbial guy, our own guy. That's their king, a carrion. He took a nasty javelin and still didn't die. Oh, shit. Now they got reinforcements coming. All right, so we've got 30 seconds at most of this slaughter before we have to beat feet. I'm trying to make the most of this sally attempt. We've probably only killed 50 guys so far. I'd like to kill a lot more from this side. And at this stage, I don't want to say that the siege is over, but I'm feeling really good about it. You know, I've said sieges are over before and lost them and looked like a fucking dipshit, so I'll try not to do that unless it really is obviously over. All right, it's time to beat feet. So we'll tell them to fall back. That's F1, F5. Generally what they do is they fall back to a good defense position inside the castle, and I'm actually going to attack these archers. So these guys are going to start shooting? Fuck no, not on my watch. Again, this goes back to me defending my units. None of these guys are paying me any attention. I'm going to carve down their fucking first row here and teach these fucks a lesson for shooting at our archers. Where are they going? Motherfuckers are like going up the siege. I don't know where they're going. They're like running into a corner. That's very bad positioning by the AI. So we're going to suffer some losses here because the AI did dipshit things. You know, even I learned still in this game, and obviously you can't count on the AI. I told them all to fall back, and what they did is they fell back into like tiny little nooks and crevices of the castle walls. I'm going to be pissed if we lose this siege because of that. You know, obviously fall back should mean get inside the fucking city, you know, in the fastest possible manner, but obviously that's not what happened here. Fortunately, the enemy has tier 2 and tier 3 units at this stage, so we're able to get most of our guys through. I see some deaths, but that was a pretty easy way for us to get back in. It's a little chaotic now. The enemy is pouring in a massive amount of troops, and our archers just got set up. Of course, a lot of them are already being mauled by infantry, but they're running. Yeah, they're flat out running. All of a sudden they change directions, and the enemy has had enough here. This is routing behavior for sure. I like to get a few arrow shots in their back. Guys level up some more. Get one last kill here. Somebody gained a level. Look at this guy. Get back. I like to kick a guy at the end. All right. And very, very successful siege defense here. I wasn't sure when I was walking this city on foot how the defense was going to be. I didn't like the area behind the gatehouse very much, but that left side is totally lethal, and we were able to take advantage of this multiple infantry division and definitely put a bad whipping on the enemy here. I mean, we lost half our troops. Guys are gaining levels. Look at our companions racked up the kills, of course. But ultimately, this is a highly successful siege defense against 4,000 Southern Empire fucks. So if that Northern Empire, it was a Northern Empire force, if they continue on, I'm going to continue this episode. Sometimes Sometimes they'll turn around and go somewhere else or something like that. They'll fuck off. But if they continue in on this city defense, we're going to have back-to-back siege defenses here. And it's going to be a little harder, right? Because now we're down 200 troops and we're down 200 of our better troops towards the front tranche of our units on the battlefield. We'll have to get a little bit more creative. But having never fought a defense before in this city, I'm kind of looking forward to trying this again. See if I can learn some things. See if I can design a better killing system, right? This is like a better mouse trap, and the enemy is the mouse. How can we design a better killing setup here for the enemy? The game is auto-saving here. That's actually fine. If for some reason it crashes or something like that, I'll be able to just fight this battle. If they come our way here. No, I want to. Let's see. We'll return to the settlement here. You can see our companions are really banged up. I got these upgrades. I think this is from discarding all that loot. You get a bunch of EXP for your troops. So we'll take these upgrades. You never know if there's going to be like another army behind this one. Very often in our campaign, it looks like it's, 2,500, which is a lot, but not that much. Compared to some of the other castle sieges. And the next thing you know, there's like 2 other forces of 2,000. So we'll see. We'll see if this is the only Northern Empire force or what. We have 600 troops. I'm feeling pretty good about defending this city again with 600 against 2,500. But we'll see. We'll see if this is the only Northern Empire force coming. One of the walls is damaged. That's interesting. And we'll build our counter siege here. I like to have at least 2 exploding cannonball catapults and a couple of fire ballistas. We'll speed this along here. Now I narrate these live. So a lot of times, at this stage, I'm just talking to myself. I'm not actually having, I almost say that because I'm literally talking to myself. Okay, they're engaging already. So 2,600 versus 600. Evidently, Malchea, or however you pronounce her name, evidently her scouts did not report that there are 4,000 bodies being chucked over the walls into the sewer from this castle, right? From Husn Fulq, with purple uniforms, already Empire forces. Evidently, she's not aware that a larger force failed to take this city. Maybe she thinks because we're a little bit wounded that she's got a shot here, but I don't like her odds. But we'll see. This is another force here. I might make mistakes. The siege might go differently, and maybe we'll lose. Right? We'll see. But we're gonna play this as if our life depends on it, though. So 8th Corps again in the courtyard here. That worked really, really well the first time. What's nice about that is not only are there good troops in that division, but there's a mix of some infantry and a lot of archers. So the infantry sort of protect the archers behind them, and you get this hybrid division. Now I see a lot of very low level units. Just glancing at the 8th Corps, there was a bunch of. This guy's a low level. There's a bunch of militia in our army, right? Which is not great, right? That means that we're fighting. Yeah, there's a lot of militia here. It's a really eclectic mix. Every other guy's a Battanian Fiend champ, and the other guy is a militia. It's like hanging out with that big muscular friend of yours, and you go to a bar and somebody's like talking shit, and you're like, "Fuck you," right? Fuck. You got my back? Yeah, fuck you, right? And your big guy's like fucking bristling, and you're like hiding behind him like a little yapping dog. That's not from personal experience for those about to make fun of me. All right, so you see how beautifully these guys are just stretching out. I got them follow me, and then I tell them to stop. And what it essentially does is it puts those guys in a beautiful ring. That's probably the best way to do that. If you've been struggling with a situation like that, it's not a perfect system. They're still a little bit more crowded than I like, but at least they're in that circle. I don't know what these guys are doing here. I definitely didn't assign fucks to be there. Oh, great. We got this fucking bugged catapult again. At least I'm on it, but now the person that's supposed to load it, she's like trapped. So this is an integral part of city defense. If I was playing a campaign, I would just know that you want to put a ballista here. You do not want a catapult here. The person who designed this, and we're going to try to destroy this siege tower. The person who designed this obviously drank a little bit too much fucking whatever, too much caffeine or too much alcohol before they did this, because we're getting shot. I actually hear javelins, not javelins, I hear ballistas almost drilling us. That's going to hit, right? Yeah, we got it. So only a couple more shots and that siege tower will be down, but I'm very vulnerable. It makes me very nervous. I can see the archers. They have line of sight on me, and I see arrows sticking out of the wood next to me. But I also hear javelins whistling, and I'll be silent for a few seconds here, and you can hear it. Hopefully I don't get hit in the dome, because that'll be it, and I'll be on to a new character. Let's see if we can hear it here. Out there somewhere. Yeah, you hear that? It's like, I swear it's hitting the catapult itself. In fact, our catapult, the health of our catapult is starting to go down. Is that what that is? Maybe you guys know. You know, that's the kind of thing you can put in the comments. I don't feel comfortable sitting there, and my companion's like totally bugged here. I don't think I'm going to be able to destroy this. Yeah, every time I hear it, I feel like it's going to hit me in the neck, and that's going to be it. And of course, I can't focus and get my range dialed in on this siege tower. Frankly, I feel like I'm taking a shit in the middle of Central Park and hundreds of people are watching me. It's a very uncomfortable, exposed feeling right now. And I'm actually at the maximum turning angle, so I can't actually hit that fucking siege tower now. Well, just like the first battle, that's fine. They had a... Oh, no, it moves. Here we go. Great, my companion's bugged again. Okay, it moves, but I don't have enough of an angle to hit the tower here. So... and I am getting shot now. Guys are starting to pound me. Get out of there real quick. Fuck it. We're going to throw these bombs down. These guys are coming up to these ladders. Like I said before, if I do this again, I will make sure that I have a ballista there, because this is just not a good catapult spot. You're too vulnerable. Turning it like that. Oh shit. I'm sorry, gal. I just totally smoked a companion of mine. She's just crumpled up next to her catapult. Well, we're going to win now for sure, right, Argyle? I've got a very frequent visitor to the channel, and I know I've mentioned it before. I won't mention it every episode, but he says he's noticed a correlation between our successes and me doing a sacrificial ritual killing of our own guys. He thinks if I don't kill our own guys, then we're going to lose. So we're probably going to win this battle, right, buddy? All right, we're going to fly in here on this infantry. We've got a little bit of support. Never mind, she just got killed. This is all elite troops, but they're not paying a lot of attention to me. Oops, spoke too soon. And then I'm going to throw some more of those explodable bombs. Shit, so I'm getting kind of cornered. I got a little cocky. You know, for people who wonder how come I take so little damage, I have incredible armor. I don't showcase the armor every episode. That would just get incredibly tedious for the people who've already seen it. But I do have several episodes where I show the armor. What you need to know is basically all legendary, right? I have not just legendary, but it's like the highest end tier 6 legendary armor. It's a very late game campaign, and naturally, like any vain, narcissistic Jarl, I like to wear the best possible drip with the best possible chance of me surviving. So the gate is in good shape again. I don't actually need to send these guys up. The enemy's sending in very few forces through the gate, at least to start this battle. And I can reset these infantry divisions and wait for a more serious threat. And again, why am I resetting? Because I want the enemy to attack the square and not to attack these other divisions. Those skirmishers are up there beautifully again, pounding the enemy. If the enemy comes in here, they're going to catch a javelin in the cheek. I can see there's a few crossbow companions up there that are firing down here as well. It's a terrible situation for the enemy. So I want the enemy magnetized to our square, attacking that square, and then you send in these guys, right? You send in the heavy hitters. A lot of those guys don't have shields. You don't want the enemy wailing away on them, right? You want those guys attacking an enemy that's busy and distracted somewhere else. And the death spam looks exactly like that, right? You've got these high-end shock troops now mauling enemy troops that are distracted. I'm so confident those guys can do their job that I'm just going to gather up all these javelins.
Everyone form a shield wall.
I've got the 2nd Division behind me. This little death trap is complete. We just picked up 6, 7, 8 javelins. The enemy's really fucked if they come through that gate. And this left side is secure as well. So I don't want to say this is the perfect recipe for this city. You might defend it a different way. Other guys defend it a different way. Maybe I'm doing things that you think are naive or stupid. And if there's ways you think I can improve, let me know. I'm always up for making improvements. I'm not the best player at this game. I'm obviously very experienced, but a lot of the experience I've gained from people just like you. If you have improvements I can make, I'm not going to get on here and trash you. In fact, quite the opposite. I'm a mature-minded fellow. I don't get jealous. I don't get upset about stuff. Even when guys obviously kind of troll me with a comment, I don't care. I'm just it's the internet. There's people out there that are just kind of sour, and it just doesn't bother me. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of a rise out of me. Whoops, my divisions got too far out of the gate while I'm going on a diatribe here. We got kind of chaos on the walls here. They're pouring up the siege tower over there. And my companion just got mowed down because I wasn't paying enough attention. Sorry, bud. But the point is, though, is that I think that this siege defense setup right here for this city, if you're playing the Aserai and you have a defense in this city, I think if you're having a difficult time, this is your recipe, right? We just smoked that guy in the face. I think this kind of a defense contingency plan. And again, a lot of it's autonomous. I am micromanaging my units at the gate. I'm charging every once in a while with the 3rd and the 2nd. Those guys are getting swarmed down there. But this left side in particular is absolutely fire and forget it. The enemy has no answer for it. This is working well too. This little skirmisher division, granted these are high-end units, but they're completely destroying all of the units that are coming from the siege tower. And part of the reason is that angled setup. I mentioned it before. They're in a T formation. Half these guys are facing me there, and the other half are perpendicular. Perpendicular, hopefully people know what that means. That means they're at an angle, a 90-degree angle. And what that means is that when the guys get attacked on the ramparts, the guys that are at the T can throw javelins and shoot arrows and whatnot at the enemy. It's a very nasty setup. But they're holding that right side. That's 20 guys, and they're completely demolishing anything that comes up over there. The gate is coming apart here a little bit. I'm breaking my own rules here by trying to defend the gate. But at this stage, I just looked up at the power bar, and I think even if we sustained a major gate destruction, which we kind of have, most of these units are reduced to scraps, I don't think it's going to matter. I think we'll be able to rebound. I've got companions killing people trying to attack me. And again, just like the first battle, I can bring these other units up now. Now that the battle is getting towards the 2nd stage, so to speak, and the unit has tier 3 and tier 4 units, we can start to bring our other units up to act as sort of reserve units. So the 6th is into place here. They're taking their sweet-ass time. And I want to give them some support here. So, let's see, I've got 7 guys still in the 2nd Division. They can go in a square. And those skirmishers between them, I'd love to give them 1 archer division. I'm sort of assessing my troops. What don't I need over here, right? These guys are really handling the, things on their own. So let's take, this is the 8th. We'll take the 8th and we'll spread them out here in a big spread out area. My incredible narrating here. And anything that comes up here is now dealing with the square. They're dealing with skirmishers still. And now there's 45 archers on their flank as well. And again, that 8th Corps, they're capable of charging the gate. Speaking of charging the gate, where's that guy going? Trying to get killed, I guess. He's going to succeed. Alright, so the enemy is stacked up again here on the siege tower. It might be time for another enfilade attack. Me coming out, though, it's almost like, again, they heard about that rumor that I shit gold. I mentioned that a few episodes before. I had all my companions and whatnot following me around, and I didn't think I had told them to. It looked like they were just following me around, foaming at the mouth. And I made the comment that they're following me around like I shit gold or something like that. The enemy here is definitely roaring up like that's the case, right? Like they expect gold nuggets to pour out of my rectum at any moment. It's almost like seeing me at the gate there made all these guys charge. But that's fine, right? That allows us to enact our death trap here. Now, this is way more than I thought was going to pour through. It's like that. This is what I mentioned before. That whole siege tower emptied out its fucking entrails into our center, the center of our keep here. And this is basically a bad situation. So we'll stick a unit in a square at the gate and try to plug this up, and then try to take care of the guys that are in here already. It's a huge press of the enemy, though. Where's my fucking square? I told it to get up here. They must be fighting. It's messy. It's very messy. But I still think we're in good position here. These guys are suffering quite a few losses here on this wing. My horse is begging me to ride it. The enemy's starting to panic. I heard a guy say, "I don't care." He's starting to rout. All right, you know what we're going to do? I talked about this before. We may not need to do this, but I'm going to do this anyway. So I'm going to do this both for practice and see if it actually works. We're going to spread out the skirmishers here, an archer tranche behind them. Those archers are working the guy coming up the ladder. We're going to try to protect these guys as they get out. And so now we're going to have 4 different archer tranches over here. What's happening here? There's one guy. I wonder if they're stuck on the barrel or something like that. This is... Oh, I see what's going on. A lot of them are taking the scenic route to get to the position I told them to. They're all running up the ladder and shit. That's actually just fine. This guy must be stuck because he's not doing what he's told to do. That's fine. Alright, look at this configuration we now have set up. This is nasty. Now, as the enemy comes in here, look at this. They're facing this huge line of infantry, and a lot of those guys are high-end infantry. We can put those guys in a line, in a shield wall, rather. They all have javelins. Like, a lot of those guys have javelins. I say they all have javelins. Some of them don't, of course. But there's 3 rows of archers behind him, and I'm bringing in another archer division to spread it out as well. And look at the ammo fire up here. Actually, they're wasting their javelins. Yeah, you guys can wait. Don't throw 28 javelins at fucking 3 guys. I'll have those guys wait for a more important moment. Is this a lord? Oh, that's just one of the Skolder warrior Brada. Alright, so I'm dragging this archer division, and it looks like an elite division. I see Battanian Fiend champs. I wish I could pick all these javelins out. I can't pick them up, I guess. Maybe my companion's too short. The enemy has a huge amount of troops down there waiting to get up these ladders. Well, they're never taking the castle from this side. So this is the configuration I would use here if the enemy was pouring through the gate in uncontrollable numbers. Right? What I would do is I would stretch these archers out. I would drag this 7th Corps. That's all the archers that are following me there like a big snake. And just like I did before, I would position these guys on this upper rampart. The 5th Corps can go right here, right? We can basically have these guys spread out down here. And then look at the 7th. They're now, and that's mostly Battanian Fiends and Battanian Fiend champs. Now they're halfway, 3/4 of the way around. We'll tell them hold fire. And nothing is going to survive coming in here. These archers, again, they might as well charge hell. They're getting shot by so many different archers, our infantry can't even get a kill. It's just Battanian Fiend champ, Imperial Palatine Guard, Master Archer. And one of the strategy benefits of this configuration is your archers are largely unaffected, right? And what I mean by that is that a lot of my archers have not had an ounce of damage. They have never been shot. They haven't had an infantryman attack them or anything. This battle is over, and we're going to wrap it up in style here. We're going to charge this fucking enemy. I've got a skirmisher division. We're going to bring 2 archer divisions, and we're going to aggressively attack the enemy here. Fuck these cowards. And part of it's the AI. Fuck these guys for piling up on the ram here. We charge. I'm going to bring these skirmishers out. We're going to stretch these archers out on these poor bastards. I can pretend like it's an open field battle here and release some of these javelins into their throats. And these guys are totally fish in a barrel here. These guys are fucked.
Attack! Soldier! Loose formation!
They'll fly right over these fucks. Chop the head off. They're gonna rout. These think about their situation. They're climbing those ladders, and as soon as they climb those ladders, they're killed. Meanwhile, over here, now they're getting horrendous enfilade fire, and I still see companions. I still have high-level companions that are up from this battle. We've kept them, we've kept them healthy, and now the arrow barrage is going to be sick. And at least these guys are smart. They just routed. This was a certain death situation. These guys are the smartest guys out of their whole army. Because they're going to go home and hopefully nuzzle up against their wife tonight. Now, it's going to be in a hovel that's 8 by 10 with a roof that every year it rots away and they have to build a new one. And their animals also live inside the hovel with them. These are all facts from the medieval era. This is how these guys lived. The animals would literally live inside with them in the winter, both for protection but also to keep them warm. So you can imagine rolling over, your wife moves a little bit, wakes you up at 2 in the morning, and you hear the splattering sound of a cow just laying a huge cow patty, just piling up. Probably 3 feet from you, right? It's probably spattering your sheets or whatever the fuck they had back then. That little excerpt comes from my imagination and, of course, the history that I've read about the medieval period. Anyways, they survived. I guess laying next to a cow that's shitting is better than being dead. We capture all their lords. Actually, we release all their lords. That's the natural process for my campaign. That basically allows the enemy to come back again quickly for another slaughter. And we're going to wrap this episode up. We'll get a little bit of loot here. I haven't really got... Okay, so this is the best, I think the best shoulder piece you can get. But again... The loot system in Bannerlord is a little bit sketchy. You get very, very frequently you get legendary shit, right? Legendary. It shouldn't be legendary every battle. Like, that's not how it should work. But nevertheless, it is what we have. But we wrap up an epic long marathon double siege here at this castle or at this city, Husn Fulq. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. I'm actually really enjoying just taking a tour of Calradia. We're going to do a few more of these. Please comment and like and all that kind of good stuff. And I will see you guys next time.